Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I'm thrilled to be here, um, searching with you guys this fantastic histories and experiences about a lot of things. And in the second episode, I will bring to this line with you my partner, Enea from Orlando, US. And I just waiting a little bit because he's keep the things going. And then
All
here we
right.
go.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Second live, a long awaited, but here we are. How's everybody
Here,
doing?
here we are. So this time we need you to introduce yourself first, and then I will do it.
Well, my name is Aeneas Rapo. My birth name is Enea, but I realized that later on my name is Aeneas with an S. And just the name itself kind of tells a little bit about my story, about my struggle or my search for identity. I was born in Albania by a Greek minority family. I migrated to Greece at an early age, and then I moved to the US in 2001, and then 2004 I became a permanent resident of the United States, and in 2021 I after having learned about Dakila research, I went to Brazil and I connected with the Dakila community, and that started my journey into self exploration and understanding of myself and my position in the world. And I'm here to share as much as possible about those experiences. And during that trip, I met a lot of Dakila associates, including the one and only, the great Cicero Miguel.
Hmm.
And here we are.
We are both the real God cast.
Well, we'll get to that.
I am
So,
honored to be your
likewise,
partner here, my friend. And
likewise,
what?
likewise, meaning I'm also honored to be here.
Ah, likewise. I didn't hear that. So I am Cicero Miguel. I am a hypnotherapist, NPL programmer, and energetic therapist. I have a lot of time expending trying to understand this whole thing: word, religion, spirituality, uh, level, higher self, inner self, psychology, quantum physics, and a lot of things. And I'm also in Dakila Pesquisas or Dakila Research, which is a huge association born in Brazil, but it's already reached all over the world. And there's a lot of topics about the real origin of human being, about a new perspective of God and spirituality, and awakening process, to be aware about all the stuffs about archaeology, genetics, and all these things. And we are here to share with you guys a lot of experiences, but we are here to share our history too. Me and Enea, we are partners, but sometimes I am his therapist, and sometimes I'm just his friend. and sometimes I'm just his partner, and we are doing a huge process together, which is about to bring the real consciousness um, from Enea to deep inside to outside, which means awake the fire of God flame we all have inside of us. So we in the last episode was talking about this part of this process, and there's a lot of water running about this case, and I want to share, I think, about the new updates from this process for the guys which are watching you and watching me right now. So what do you think to keep this talk going from the last point, and updating people about your process? And that's include me, because you are already miss it. I thought you were abducted in this last week, or you are muted. You are muted. Your mic is off. Yeah, that's okay.
Back. Yeah, I
Keep
think
going.
things have slowed down a little bit here. I increased my camera resolution, and things have slowed down a little bit. I will try to just close some windows here because I had too much stuff going on. So yeah, I was just a little bit of my recent activity. I We were supposed to follow up with our live, weekly. I was called recently to help the campaign of the Republican presidential candidate in Donald Trump, and that was something that immediately I just took action. I didn't even think about it. It turned out to be a pretty challenging task, although really definitely worth it. I was part of a group of people that were going out there in public spaces, people's homes, in businesses, and we were talking to people about what it meant for people to participate in the political process this time around. And although I remain neutral about politics, I don't really raise a flag for any particular candidate. I also think that the little responsibility that we have about as citizens in our society, we have to exercise. I obviously I'm not under no illusion that we have the illusion of two of choice in this democracy. It's really not a real choice when you have only two candidates which are very limited choices, right? But um, nevertheless, this is the system we've got, and we have to operate the best we can under that system and appreciate it. So that's what I got abducted from. Got abducted by the Trump gang, and I was riding the Trump train, and I am back now. I'm still very tired from that experience. You can still see like my color hasn't come back yet, but at least I'm happy that I did my part, and I'm sure dimensionals as gods that we are, that have a dominion over our reality. I am sure that my work did make difference, and me talking to people with full conviction that my work there meant something. I'm sure it did. It did help, right? Even though it's a small part, but you know, if everybody makes a small part, then it sums up to doing big things. So I'm happy. I feel happy that I did that, even though it was hard and sacrifice. I am back now and really relieved that Donald Trump won the campaign. If you are, I don't want to talk about politics here, and I respect if you have a different opinion than mine. Like I said, my thing is to remain neutral about politics. I do not expect any candidate to really do anything for me because I know that we are powerful co-creators, gods, uh, or manifestations of God in this reality, and we get to create the reality that we want. And I definitely do not um, participate, or I do not choose to participate or perpetuate the current system. But I still like to play the game because, like I said, that's all we got. Back to you, Cicero.
Nice. So you was living as a Trump trooper.
I was a
Trump trooper.
Trump trooper.
Trump
Exactly.
trooper.
I was a Trump trooper.
Oh, it was cool, I think. We have to face this reality if we can, and I usually don't have a lot of concern about this kind of things because I have my my job to do, and yeah, just disappeared right now. That's okay because he will be back again. Uh, so as I was talking, I'm not uh, I'm not too concerned about these things because for me, this kind of situation works like a move theater or just entertainment. We have only two sides to get people divide and be um, distracted, facing the different sides of the same coin. And obviously, I believe there's a lot of things which we can do to get better results. Oh, he's back. He's back again. And I just believe in this thing. And this is why we are here. We are living a situation about this politics thing and getting in about this mental stuff. And Enea was with a lot of changing in his inner emotional things, in all his familiar cycle and professional, spiritual, and it would be really good uh, hear your history about this things, this changing. We didn't have a good time to talk about this, and I think it will be a good day to have this follow up, and in the same time you can tell about your new perspectives, about your point of view of this new things we have work at this two or one meeting we had after the first episode. What do you think about it? You are muted again. You are muted again. What's going on? What's going on? Your mic's off. Your mic's on. Your mic's off again.
On again. Okay. It's just that my computer is very slow now, and I need to fix that. But I'm not in my desktop, as you can see, because I have guests in the house, and it was too loud. So I came in the garage. Here in America we have garages, and you can see all the mess behind me. So I apologize. Well, you cannot really see, but anyway. So yeah, you were wanting to discuss more about this subject, about politics, and how that can weave into our conversation of what it means to be a human being in this reality now in the world. Is that something that you're suggesting?
Yes, I am. I am suggesting you to speak about our process and in the way you can show this new perspective of reality on the point of view of a dimensional thing because you are uh,
Yeah.
experiencing the power of your mind and how it can be uh, really good to change inner things and to change reality. And of course it will bring the point of mental level stuffs, and we can talk about the god thing about us all as dimensional beings.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And this everything is in this world is God, right? And it's God's creation, and we're playing a role in it, and everybody has a different character and different thing, and we get to play a game. And uh, and I think that's the difference with dimensionals, or at least the ones that are awakened. It is the fact that we being awakened or being enlightened, in my understanding, is that you are aware that this is not real and this is a game, and there is another reality somewhere else, and we are living this reality now in this condition, but that's not who we are really. It's not doesn't define us. It's just a state of existence in the current in this current reality, right? And this planet we call Earth, right? And so it's important to start from that. A lot of people may be aware of this fact, although by choice or by lack of better options or choices, they choose to be consumed or identify with the game, right? So their identity gets lost, and it's understandable that we, for us to operate in this world in the best capacity, we need to have a defined identity, have personality, character, you know, uh, and all the attachments that come with it, um, because it would be much more comfortable to live in this world, right, in the third dimensional reality. But as long as we don't get lost in the process and start identifying or giving meaning to things that are meaningless, and making them a priority, it's where things get lost, right? So there's nothing wrong with me supporting a candidate that's would be, that I think it's better than the other candidate. There's nothing wrong with enjoying life, with prospering, with making money, with making children, and building things and playing around and enjoying the process. As long as you don't in the process lose the perspective, right, of things, because that we have the capacity to identify and to become anything, right? But our prime identity is a co-creator, that which is a divine spark that connects directly to the source, which is experiencing itself in this form. So as long as we know who we are and don't forget that, um, then we are, although we will pass on difficult challenges in this world, pressures and difficulties, because we're dealing with a third dimensional density, and everyone vibrates in a different density depending on their emotions and energy they generate. And we are bound by laws of rhythms and magnetism, pressure, density, and light. We, in the end of the day, are here to dominate over all those elements, right? So that's you know that's why I wanted to bring perspective. Like, um, at the end of the day, it's a game, and we're here to learn, and we need to awaken from it. Because this time around, it's important for us to understand that we have an opportunity to evolve, and we played the game long enough in this cycle, and in other cycles of 26,000 years, and we are completing an age. So we are coming of age. We're becoming of age, and we are growing. And it's time for us to to fulfill our mission and to do what we came here to do. Um, do are you following what I'm saying? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Totally. It's perfect sense what you're saying. Uh,
What?
Recently, I was uh, in this reflection about my mentoring people. I have a mentoring process every day, and sometimes we discuss about these things. And you were telling about we discover or rediscover uh, who we are, and we have a lot of theories about these things, about these topics, and about reality and how theatrical or not is reality at some points, as we are talking about politics or religion or something like this. But I have a point of view, which is we have to really dig deep inside of us to not rebuild, but to uh, reveal our origin, our original ID, our original cosmic personality. And this is not about this spiritual stuffs about uh, Master Sharan or extra spiritual beings or nothing in this way. But in fact, we are really different. We are a huge, bigger than we think we are. And the part of this theatrical thing make us believe we are like ships, which have that that behavior and living some really close cycles and opportunities and things like this. And my job for me and for those who search for me is bring a new perspective of reality when we can relive this point of view. We are really gods because quantum physics and neuroscience and philosophy and all this science which studies our mind process, bring us to the same point. The reality just uh, is just a feedback about our inner process, emotions, beliefs, and when we change it, we at the same time we are experiencing a new way of reality. We are rediscovering this spark of God inside of us. And it's curious how we can live it for a long time without really seeing it. Because when we feel the things, when we believe things, this things just happens. And when we change this feeling, when we change this perf- perspective, the reality changes too. And what I want to bring to this conversation for you is how are going the changings from your point of view in this reality, as long as we are healing your emotional process and how it are uh, changing your point of view about this things you are living and the things you are just understanding or start to understand the process in your research in your life.
Yeah, is my mic on? So, yeah,
Your mic.
very well put, very um, eloquently explained. I appreciate your English is was very on point, also. So, congratulations. It is getting better, much better than last time I saw you. So it's been a long time. I guess it's been almost a month. Where your English is like on point. So that's congrats. You're unblocking that capacity. So yeah, so uh, work doing the emotional work and the reprogramming and the the therapy we did together obviously already has changed the perspective or it's changed the modus operandi, so to speak, or it's tuned up the device. So it it not only transmits but also receives at a certain frequency, right? So if before I was on in repetitive cycles about certain things, about certain reactions that people had, now I am a little bit more aware of some internal processes that before would be very intrusive, so to speak, right? And so doing the work and applying it on the field where I was going to, interact with people of all kinds of different beliefs and political views during these 3 weeks. I saw that I was in a very calm and centered place, even when people were negative and attacking and wanting to create emotional drama and like basically uh, people representing a certain energy that's here now, which is very divided, very polarized, right? And although me being in myself, more being more centered and more um, okay with myself, so to speak, about my internal processes, I was able to deflect or neutralize and not be activated by certain behaviors that people had, right? And I was observing myself. There was some moments where I was, either having challenges, difficulties, and things were running very fast, and I was doing so many things in a day, and I would get a little bit hyperactive as a result, like maybe with not much sleep or not very good eating or sleeping conditions. But at the end of the day, I was able to slow it down and to be present and to be with my emotions, and not be allow other people to carry me in their emotional roller coaster, right? So, and as a result, a lot of things happened in this weekend, and a lot of new connections, new positive results that before would not have occurred. Now, because of the results of this work that we've done together and previous work that I've done in my life, but especially the work we did, that was a you know it brought a shift in my life. It can be a radical shift, even though there was a small change, but it was a radical change. And that has uh, bettered my relationships. First of all, my relationship with myself, and then the relationship with others. And of course, there is a lot more work and a lot more awareness, because we are very complex uh, beings. Human system is very complex, and there is always things to work on and to get better at and to grow and to expand. Although when you have the presence and when you're aware of the processes that happen, you're always at an advantage, and you always can lead with more intelligence and more rationality in no matter what circumstance. So that's a very basic um, teaching and lesson. Um, and I'm speaking about the emotional unblocking, right? That keeps us perpetuating repetitive cycles and create and living the same density, the same reality over and over again, and as a result, wasting or spending our life in unproductive and unhealthy ways. Did that answer my question? Did that make any sense?
It's make total sense.
Excellent.
It's make total sense. I was questioning you about this thing because uh, our way potential of perspective about the reality is totally change uh, with our emotion, and it's a curious thing. Uh, Despite you are involving that country you are living are totally involved in most part of world probably was watching this election process here in Brazil. We are watching a good, uh, not a good, but a really amazing, huge discovering about that city called Hatanaba.
Ratana.
And there's a lot of discussing here because we have some universities trying to get for themselves this research, and they are trying to be praised by this 3 decades from research,
Decades, yeah.
which yeah, which
Or more.
Uranji was looking for in every part of this planet about this city called Hatanaba, but the most part of people are thinking it's just a slice of earth in Amazonic
Yeah, people think
territory.
it's a naturally occurring um, phenomena in the Amazon.
Yes, and we this all these things are connected because, as I told you, uh, our inner perspective, our emotional state, or way to watch this reality thing uh, bring us a lot of information and a lot of behaviors and a lot of possibilities. And there's always a lot of things uh, working together to put ourselves into or out to some things which can bring us a lot of awareness and help us
Awareness.
to be awaken, awaken,
Oh,
and
oh, awake. Yeah,
yes,
and
awake,
awaken us. Yes.
awakeness,
Awake.
awake,
Yeah.
awaken.
No, so the word is awakened with a B in the end,
Yes, awakening would be in
depending how
the
you
end.
say it. Yeah.
Yes, and for your side, you are working on it, and I really think it's really important. But for my side, I was uh, having a lot of experiences about this high levels of experiences of consciousness, and we will try it with you too tomorrow because we have a agenda tomorrow. We have a new meeting, but I was reflecting about these things about what is God, what is really uh, the God reality, what is the this connection we have with these things, what is true, what is false, what is the point of this whole thing. And when we have that kind of experiences as we had before in Dakila Pesquisas, uh, we start to extract from your minds, our minds, yes, from our minds, deep inside our minds, uh, this kind of new way to see the life, new way to feel the life. And I was in the experiences with the higher self, and I discovered at 2 weeks before something deeper than that. I think in April this year, I hear from Orangir and Dakla Dakla workshop. He's speaking about when we focus a little bit and just keep our mind in in one direction, we can hear and we can feel our higher self. But when we dig a little deeper, we can connect with God, the real God. And that's for me was really interesting because in religion, people reclaim they are speaking with God all the time. And in my point of view, when I have a lot of experiences with ghosts, spiritual thing, and then with extra dimensional being, and then with the higher self, I and orbs and all things like this. I just was a little bit out of this point of view, this perspective. But I decided to try, and it was amazing, really amazing. Because for your understanding, sometimes I hear in my mind different voices. I have my higher self voice. I have your higher self voice. I have the orbs voices, and I have some parts of my consciousness. We all have this one, and sometimes we put all these voices in charge from ego, and this is a mistake. And for me, it's really different, all that voices. And when I had these experiences, I just digged a little deeper, and I felt this connection. And then I start to think about it, about that religious thing, and this, maybe this is a connection. And then I want to bring it for our talking. Whoa, I saw an orb sparking right now. So probably I have to share this. But first, I want you to tell me, did you are making your self hypnosis and speaking with the higher self version of you?
Unmuted?
No,
No. All right, I'm
you are
back.
on.
So, what's the question again? If I in relation to my connection with my higher self.
Yes.
Uh, well, so what was the question exactly?
Uh, I asked about if you are doing your self hypnosis and speaking with your higher self during this month or 2 weeks you are out.
Yeah, I was doing at moments, although it was kind of hard with people always around me. But I did take time where I would I would do certain exercises, certain audio audio, you know, frequency, um, frequency sounds, right? Where that I have as part of a membership, um, mentoria, or what is it called? Mentoria, or
Therapy. Now you're muted again. You're muted. No, it's okay.
yeah, I think it's my microphone.
That was something, it's just a small part of your talk we missed.
Okay, so yeah, I when I was having this audio recording where I go through different frequencies. Um, it's basically a sound frequency audio, right? And it's also a affirmations. So this during those affirmation, I connect with my higher self. I call on my higher self to interact with me and my frequency field, and eventually down the road, I do get insights. I do get perspectives, and I feel more connected, more aligned with my higher self. So it's a constant practice, and each time I take the time to synchronize with my higher self, or communicate with my higher self, um, I get more and more insights and more clarity in my direction. So it's a work in progress, but definitely it's getting better. It's getting clearer, and especially in a world where there's so many distractions and so many mental chatter and mental stimulation, it's hard to navigate life. So I've learned at this point to completely trust on my intuition to take me in the right direction and be discerning about what energies I am allowing to vibrate in, right? The ways of being, and just learn, just feel if things are light or heavy for me. It's still challenging, but I've learned to completely trust, let go of any analysis or any attempt to control any situation, and try to feel my way through things versus trying to think my way through life. And so I start with being, and then doing, and then having the result that I want. But that the more I work on my energy and raising my frequency to a higher vibration, uh, I get to vibrate more and more and synchronize more with my higher self or light body or future self for that matter, depending on the perspective at the time. So I think this is a very important aspect for people to understand, that reality is pretty simple as long as we understand the mechanics of life. We need to understand the basics. And unfortunately, there's a lot of mysticism in religions. There is a lot of different types of explanations, different perspectives. Every person says something different, and there is no consensus on on how these things work, like what the human person is, the human system is, and how this human person can communicate with various level of its own consciousness, including the God self and the higher self, and also the higher entities that we are intrinsically connected to, just by being part of the cosmic family, right? And we have those forces at our disposal at any moment. It's just that we have forgotten about them and we do not reach out or communicate to them, um, because our heads are so down down here and minding our own business that we never or very rare we get our hands up and ask for God, right? Or ask for help, or ask for not help, but ask for guidance, for a signal. Only when things get really bad in our life, that we're in a crisis of existential crisis, that we actually seek the divine providence or the divine guidance. And it's only on these cases that we actually look for something outside of our ego mind or ego self.
This is good, 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 good. Uh, this is all things I am reflecting these days, and in my point of view, I'm getting closer to understand more and more this thing you call the life mechanics. When you really understand it, all things can be really easy. And we don't have to serve God. We are God. But there's a mind cultural structure which is trying to stole it for us. And right here, right now, if we decide to change and put put our mind in the direction we want, we can feel instinctively in that moment that change. And as I've told you, was told you about this new level of experience from my training process with higher self connection, I create a group when I help my ex patients and all people from my mentoring process to do self hypnosis, right? And then this energy about that connection start to grow a little bit more, and all this download things, this insights started to come a little bit stronger, and I had really interesting experiences. I was listening to my higher self, and then I start to listen all the higher self group reunion about all that people would what was with me at that uh, self hypnosis process. And then my higher self just told me, okay, it's time to dig deeper and bring these people with you. And some of them will listen this voice. And then I will start to put my mind on that direction and help people to go with me. And then I heard a new voice in my mind inside of me, and it was as an image with a huge sea, just calm, and from some part above this the sea was dropping one drop of water, and this drop of water create one huge wave, an infinite wave in the sea. And then I heard, I am you, you are me. And then I start to ask it, okay, who are you? And then I listen, I heard, I am God. And it brings a really deep and different feeling. Oh, another obs back to again. When I change my eye direction, it's something like this happening. And then I start to think about this. And in the next day, I have a little fight with my wife, and it was just about 2 minutes to start this reunion with my group. And then I start to think, okay, if this is real, I want to be in this feeling again, but in the understanding. And then I hear it again. All things always renew. Bro, where are you? I can't see you. Oh, I can't see you again. All things is always renew. which means every second in our life, our cells are dying to another cells living. And in nature is the same thing. In all perspectives is the same thing. And then I realize, mm, when I will sleep tonight, tomorrow I will be a new version of me, and this is a rebirth. I got it. And then when I wake up, I just realized I was in a new level with my relationship because I just felt this thing really deep inside of me. And then I decide to not believe, just make it happen. And when I was hearing your story about this experiences with people and frequency and all this polarization thing, I was wondering what would happen if he just start to decide to change that people's frequency. Did you try it?
Yeah, I was I was aware that um, that at some point I would project my thoughts and say that I'm like, no matter who's answering the door or who's speaking to me and whatever their political orientation is, I'm going to approach them with neutrality and with respect and appreciation. And if the person really felt that energy, would definitely have affected them. So this is something that in some cases I would do in a conscious way, but most of the time I would do it just naturally, right? Um, but I realized that even with my presence there, as somebody that's aware about his objective and emanating a certain frequency or energy that's worked on, and understanding that the capacity that human mind has, or the human machine or mechanism or system has to generate certain frequencies, and then um, broadcast those frequencies, where those frequencies will resonate with other beings and co-creators. So then we synchronize at that certain frequency, and then would syntonize. I understanding this process, understanding this mechanics, it made me confident that I, just by me being the way I am, it will shift the consciousness and it will reverberate uh, to the rest of people. Now, uh, understanding your and thank you for sharing your experience this past days, because it just speaks of what of it speaks of the opportunity we have now to reconnect with the creator and reconnect with ourselves first of all, but reconnect with the supreme, or the force of creation, so then we can interface with that frequency, so then we can be and become all things and be in all things, and access the cosmic knowledge, or access the wisdom of the ages, and basically really have an insight of who we are, and feel, in a way, feel at home with ourselves and the world and society, and doing this in such a time of turbulence, such a time of confusion, anxiety, crisis, right? And just existential crisis for a lot of people. And being that sort of force and that antenna, that transmitter of that energy, I think speaks a lot, right? And in a lot of cases, it does make people uncomfortable, right? So you're not going to be the person that necessarily will get a lot of love from others necessarily, right? People will even fight with you or argue with you or like think that you're a certain way, but no matter what, these people will feel a certain way, right? I learned to not expect that people will like me, and I've learned to accept that and to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, my purpose is to make them uncomfortable, make them think, and put them in a state of thinking and self-examining and self-understanding, because I am in that journey, and I I just can't have like stupid conversation about stupid things, and because I do sometimes tolerate kind of like lighthearted and simple conversation because that's important. But I think when I'm working on things, when I'm working with people, when I'm talking to people, and it's a lot of that now. I am participating here in Orlando in a group called Helpers, where we are basically building the new international platform. It's called Pablo Marsal, um, sort of like legacy here in Orlando, which he started in Alphaville, and now we're expanding here. I'm constantly interacting with people, and I am aware that uh, the way I show up it's very important, you know, because of my awareness of the implication and the impact that has on people, you know.
I know we have to keep this in mind, and I want you to observe how are you feeling right now.
Uh, well, right now, a little uh, physically challenged. I've had a headache most part of the day, so my head is bothering me. So that's why I'm like having a little hard time, um, just keeping my eyes open. But and that's just a part of like 3 days of nonstop. It's kind of drained me energetically. But I could have been worse. Just like I'm still able to have our conversation now, and accept the way that I am, accept that whatever's happening is happening, and I'm
Just take a deep breath. Check it out again. How are you doing? I will create a sound. When I create that sound, your head will just refresh and your energy too. Observe again. How do you feel?
I feel better. I need a little break. but I also realized that I'm operating at not at 100% capacity. So I apologize for not being
Forget that idea.
okay.
Forget that idea. Just
All
for a
right,
second. Just for a second.
all right.
Create that image inside your head. Uh, do you believe the air is infinite or there's an end to the air?
The air that we breathe, I think it's
Yeah.
uh, I think it's finite, or
No, it's not.
it's not. Well,
It's not.
it's infinite in its capacity to reproduce itself, but
Yes.
it's
Did
finite in
you did you hear about prana before?
about what?
Prana?
Prana, yes. Chi.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Just create that image inside your mind. When you breathe, you bring prana inside of your body, right?
Yeah.
So, as your body was in are full of air, oxygen, you are full of energy, right? Right?
Yeah.
So then you will create this kind of torus waves in the same flow of the oxygen of your breathing and keep that growing as much as you can, and you will create infinite symbol as the H number with a gold light inside, and you create that field as big as you can, holding first your room, and then your home, and then your neighborhood, and then your city, and then your state, and after that your country, and after that the world. When you create that image, keep in mind the oxygen, the air is infinite. There's no end to this. You start to feel a full energy growing inside of you. And then this whole magnetic energy will change all people inside your home. They will be calm, happy, even your little child, both of one, both of them. When you start to just feel it, you will keep that in mind and will open your eyes and you will answer me again. How do you feel right now?
I definitely feel better. Um, I feel better. I think the fact that I was taking oh, we have visitors. I'm attracting people
You
here. Uh,
yes.
no, no, I,
That kind of good energy attract people.
yeah. Oi, fecha a porta, fecha a porta. Oi, sai daí, Jasmine, sai daí, fecha a porta, por favor.
Bring him.
No, it's somebody. Não, deixa aí. Pode fechar a porta que eu tô ocupado. Tá, tá bom. Tchau. Yeah, it definitely helped. It was good to do that and neutralize that energy. I was giving it the fact that I had taken some medication that helped me reduce my headache and relax. I also still didn't realize that I didn't take the time to be in my body and to do the visualize it. But now I feel definitely that I've neutralized that with your help. So there was a live demonstration for all of you out there that have issues. They're feeling unwell. That can be eliminated very quickly.
This is just the beginning. I want to you a new level of this. Just feel this state. You are feeling better. You are quite calm, and you're feeling your head. It's going better and better, and your emotion will be a little bit neutral, and you will try to feel your higher self right now. Just try to feel it. Bring that image you have since you was a child, and when we achieve this point, when you got it, you will tell me.
Do have it, yeah.
Yeah, keep watching it. Keep watching it, your higher self. Just feel that balance of energy. Keep going. Just forget all things around. Never change your focus. Keep going. You'll be in that state and think you get higher as much as you can. You can see here you grab your hand and bring you to up to the earth above of us. And when you reach that point, you will start to watch it. And when you get that higher position, you will open up your mind, your hearing, and your emotional to feel, to listen. That new level of communication, of connection. And when you feel it, you just tell me. Yeah, keep going. Your body will just relax. Don't worry. You don't have to move. Just feel, focus, listen, and breathe. Can you feel it?
Yes.
To that point, you create a new wave to change all things around you. Keep that in mind. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, is a shift. So like things falling in place again, and whatever my body was uh, was experiencing, it really helped regulate that. It just makes you realize that our mind just kind of adds more to the problem. Not to say that the problem is not there, and inflammation or whatever that is. It's just that the mind makes it worse. So it's when you're in that state, sometimes it's hard, or it's like you don't automatically think to like, oh, this can be something I can neutralize, because you give it an explanation and or a an excuse that that's happening because of X reason.
Yes.
And the reason may be there. The reasons can be valid, although that doesn't mean that you cannot neutralize those things. It can be, I don't know, like in my case, some kind of like s- um a supplement or something that make me maybe either kind of sleepy or kind of like heavy. Or it can be like a headache or inflammation or tiredness, or all of that can be eliminated.
Your body will just express what your consciousness is bringing at the vibrational level. When you change it, all things change. But you have to get that intentional thing all this time, all the time, all the time. Okay, this thing's going. Let me try to watch it, understand it a little bit, and then I will change it.
Yeah.
This is the exercise or God spark. We never ever have to uh, just answer the as a feedback thing, as I'm telling about reaction. We have to really action all the time. Did you got it?
Yeah. uh, yeah, we had to act all the time. And as you're talking, I'm reminded that um, I was thinking of a lot of things. I'm forgetting which one I was talking about, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, it's probably not important to speak about it, but it's definitely the ability we have to generate these frequencies, right? Because the end of the day, um, because living here in Orlando, being exposed to a lot of these Christian, religions here, because a big Christian community, right? A lot of conservatism. Um, there's a lot of prayer, right? And prayer does the same thing. Prayer, basically, you're affirming that I am I am feeling well, and this is a subject that we eventually wanted to develop as well, which is demystifying religious and mysticism and religious in a way, right? And translating it in a more scientific and simplistic way. But going back to prayer, right? Prayer. in a way has that power because by us saying certain words or commanding certain things, we, as a result, generate the frequency by declaring that or visualizing that which we want to happen, including some cases like disease or unwellness or uh, emotional things or all kinds of different things, right? So we pray and we ask God, um, and well, I guess it still works, but because we're really asking ourselves, and really, the prayer in a way it's kind of done wrong, even the even such a simple thing like a prayer is still done wrong because a lot of people pray as if they need permission or need to ask some kind of external figure for it to do something for us instead of already being grateful for having and being those things that they desire for themselves, like wellness or you know being holy or being healthy, and all of those things. So being grateful for already having it and commanding it, and so um, it just speaks to the power of that we have as frequency generators, right? And if if we imagine something, it becomes reality. It happens, right? And that also speaks of the co-creative ability we have as co-creators, right? As you know a fractal of the divine representation in this form, in this universe.
Yeah, you were talking about the prayer thing and ask permission.
Right.
Can you imagine God asking himself, okay, God, can I do this?
Yeah.
And then he answering back, yes, God, you can do this because you are God.
Yeah.
You just felt the power of being your own God. Mm,
Yeah. It's paradoxical because like you're in Dakla, we say a lot about generating a certain frequency, right? Generating a certain vibration, right? And by being certain way, by saying certain words, we generate certain vibrations. So when we just by the act of asking, we're generating a frequency of asking. Or if by doubting our abilities, we're generating a frequency of doubting our ability, right? So constantly we are creating uh, and transmitting certain signals constantly. So
yes,
if we are in the frequency of like, oh, I'm so lost and I'm so confused and I'm so unwell and not feeling well, uh, and if you're in that, if you're saying those words and you're feeling in that state, then that's what you're generating, right? That reality. So it's very simple, but it's so it's so widespread. This type of existence, right? Where where we're constantly having this debate with ourselves, like God talking to God, having this dialogue, right, with ourselves, and all this kind of like just being programmed in our head about what is real and what is not, and
yes,
it's such a simple thing when you think about it, and then most people don't do it only because they've been programmed to think a certain way. And that's, and that's really speaks about the programming, the mental programming, the mental hypnosis that, humanity is under. We in a way indirectly are under sometimes, right? Because we go on automatic mode sometimes and we forget that we are only creating something because we are vibrating. So we are uh, forgetting about who's responsible, who's in charge. And that's what the matrix or the religions have done so well, is to, they're very subtle. It's to get us into this mind frame, right? And that it's very subtle, but it's uh, it's an effective way to mind control people by programming the mind. And it's as simple as visualize something and basically generating the frequency. And just that little thing, um, it's not well understood and explained in religion. Or and I was going to get to another point about the self-help world, where I mean, I even had a the head of like psychology department of New York State, when I was doing some therapies in New York. And this therapist, she's since has engaged in a lot of different techniques that she's learned from teachers to work with consciousness and herself, and in in healing herself, and also being in a state of constant synchrony and balance, right? But she said herself that psychology is such a trap because it makes us sort of perpetuate more of the same stuff, like thinking we are um, thinking that we are not, you know, we need help. Constantly, we need something. Constantly telling us that you're this or that, or you're diagnosed with ADHD, or you need to, do this certain analysis, and you need to make sure that you do that analysis. And not to say that that's all bad, but the system it's designed that it keeps you in a perpetual state of like self doubt, self questioning, self predication, or self harm in a way, and low self esteem. Uh, and and you go, people especially people in the system where they rely on psychologists and psychiatrists. It just the these people are like programmers, where they're constantly programming the person to go on the same side of state and like be the same feeling and kind of go to the same kind of mindset, where they can simply put that person in a completely different frame of mind and take the person completely out of that state, right? And and bring them to a different perspective. So then when they open their eyes, they can see, hey, I was just lost here, and now you help me. But it's such a mind, um, it's a mind game that these people play, and they're unfortunately they're also programmed, and they're trained to also do the same thing. But psychology could be completely different, right? And it's probably the most damaging field in the world today. It's like this psychiatrist, psychologist trying to help people get from a condition by basically putting them in another more self-limiting mind frame.
Yes, yes, and this is why I I just bring to us that experiences for us tonight, because even when you felt that, and just change your whole perspective and feeling about yourself and about things which was uh, disorganized inside yourself, and that thing was rearranged just in a couple of minutes. You really feel it. You was on it, but sometimes our mind, uh, in the same process as addiction, just trying to get back in that fake reality, which we are slaves without power, and in that theatrical thing about sickness and disease, we just don't remember. We just don't remember the most part of life. We are God, and we have the power to change it, as you really did it right now. And in for me, you are totally right. This is a whole system designed to keep our mind watching the bad possibilities and fake boundaries and limited edges, when in the truth we are unlimited, we are powerful, and we can change all the things just in a second or minute or something like this. And when we decide to be in that way every single minute, every single minute, we can change even more than just ourselves. We can change everything. Did you agree with that? And
Absolutely.
sometimes we have to just not to talk to people, but to show up to people, as we did a few minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah, and I really was.
When we show it up,
I was.
people just
I was I was really physically challenged, and that.
just have a little what? Just
No,
wait
I
a
was.
minute. My phone just get off. Huh, my phone.
No problem.
Just wait a little bit. I don't know what is happening, but I will fix it. Jesus,
Jesus is calling you.
don't worry. Don't worry. I will fix it.
Don't worry, be
I
happy.
have another phone. Jesus, I am Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
I'm back. I'm hearing you again.
Jesus is back. The second
So,
coming.
as I was speaking about, uh, I think you have the same purpose than me, which is bring the most people we can to this reality. When we are not sheeps, we are the God, and we don't have to serve any God when we are the God. We are not slaves. We're not sheeps. We literally have the power to control the cell of God, the quantum. And you just did it right now in front of the people. And you just didn't it bigger, because sometimes you just drove your attention for the noises about your kids and wife and things going round. But even in this situation, even in that noise inside your head, you just change it. And you know how noisy your mind is and how hard is uh, bring that focus even in that situation with hard thing inside your head and that fakey pain. It was just unbalanced energy. Did you agree? Am
Yeah,
I right?
it wasn't balanced energy. I totally agree. And there's certain factors that unbalancing it. It's too many things together. It's shifts in rhythms and foods and different things that get in the way and unbalance it. But it doesn't mean that you cannot just visualize a complete state of equanimity and balance and wholeness. See yourself in that to bring it all in balance. And we just don't realize that we can just command our biomagnetic centers to align,
Yes.
and we
And
just
take control.
we just show our muscles to the universe, and the universe be like, okay, I got you. Like you're strong. You're
Yes. Tell
anyway.
me,
Yeah.
we are or not the God?
Um, yeah, we are the GodCast. So
Real Godcast.
the real GodCast, not those fake ones. And it's important, we may take this. This is a beginning, right? It's a beginning of all this of this journey, and small beginnings need to be valued and celebrated. But there's not enough voices out there of reason. There's a lot of mumble jumble. That's why our heads are so
Mumbo jumbo.
full of crap. You know the word mumble jumble, right? It's
Yes. It's
self-explanatory.
funny.
Uh, Godcast. I'm just gonna post this live. I was streaming on Instagram, but then it just stopped. I think we got censored. Um, as I was saying, why cannot share this? Mhm.
Don't worry
Share.
about this.
Anyway, I'll take care of it later.
Let it going.
So yeah, I was saying that it's important to keep going, to stay focused, and to appreciate the humble and the simple beginnings. Like people like Rafael Ungria or Dakila orientators. But not only, I've been following people for years and years. Even people that speak about these things that kind of like lose their track along the way because they get involved with all kinds of energies and frequencies, right? And kind of they lose their essence from the beginning, just by virtue of mixing things up because the matrix is so strong and they get the information distorted or wrong, even though they started with their you know purity and the essence pretty strong, they get corrupted along the way, right? And it comes to the territory. It comes to the territory of being in the eye of the public eye and all of that. But we need to understand that it's important. The beginnings are important, and that we need to be out there consistently to share such a simple message of like such a simple reminder of like what's up, right? And what's up with us and who we are, because people get lost in all of this mumble jumble, right? All of this talk about religions and the history about religions and the Bible and even like ancient history and all of that, like, which is important, right? And we spoke about Ratanabala, and how that's another conversation I want to touch a little bit about that. For people that didn't understand or they wanted to know more about what you mentioned earlier, right? But um, it's that people get lost in the noise, right? And
Yeah.
forget like what is really important, which is what you described earlier, that we are gods, and we ought to just simply direct our thoughts towards that, and train our minds to keep that focus, because our minds are under attack. We're constantly under mind control from our devices, from people around us, from psychotronic weapons, from the food we eat. Everything is constantly informing us to vibrate in a certain way. So we constantly have to be grounded in the image of who we are, in the understanding of who we are, in order for us to be connected, and to be present with our the nature of our existence and the nature of who we are, and as a result to evolve beyond this density, and to rise up on the density spectrum, and become ultimately connected with the eternal, with the divine, with the transcendent, with the perfected state of existence, and leave a legacy for the rest, like many have done before, like Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Melchizedek, Jeremiah, Josiah, whatever. All these people, Mayans, and many people have done it before. It's just that the Matrix does not remind us of these people and how they did, and what the process was. And yeah, we that's why we need to continue. It's not that many people out there. I am, you know, I'll say a couple more things and I'll let you say it. It's there is, in this, I'm talking to a lot of people in this international platform that's is the Pablo Marçal thing, and everybody's kind of like positioning themselves in the marketing world, right? Just to have to basically distill a certain idea in such a cohesive and coherent way for a long enough time for people to understand that, hey, you are providing a certain service, so then you can monetize that, right? So, and that's okay. It's an engineering of a certain reality, so then you can uh, have a purpose, or to monetize that, and to help people as a result. But I also see a lot of bullshit in that, because a lot of useless shit. Sorry, part of my this is a, I know it's a family show, but it's a lot of like waste of life and energy. Like why just don't get to the point, because that truth monetizes too, and people appreciate truth, and they will buy your
The
products.
bell.
The bell. I gotta go to church now. I have to pray. It's my prayer time. Just but and just to say something about the Amazon, and about the Ratanaba, which a lot of people are aware, and especially a lot of people I've been talking to here. I've been talking to people a lot about this information, especially those who are sort of in the frequency that I can plant some seeds and ideas. But it just shows that the capacity that Dakila and the people there that work on this, they are on this path to affect the collective conscious. And I remember when I was in Dakila, still when the Ratanaba campaign started, right? That it just viralized in the matter of like 2 3 weeks. We reached like millions of people on social media, because it was such a focused effort, right, for us to just bombard the social media networks with this information, that it viralized, and people obviously had the reaction that people had, like mostly negative, because obviously we're reaching out to an ignorant population that it's been programmed and manipulated about our human origins. But it just speaks also to the fact that we have such a powerful capacity to influence in a positive way and to share our knowledge with others. And we've always had this, even in the past, and the and this is a good thing, but also is also a challenging thing because people eventually take this information and they want to pretend that it's theirs. You know, like with Ratanaba, there's all these people that, oh, now they're hip to something. Their understanding about Ratanaba and the lost cities, like their consciousness is aware, like waking up. And instead of being like, hey, who came up with this idea like of Ratanaba? And let me go and maybe learn more from them or help them get more information. Is like they take the information and they want to they pretend that it's there. Oh, I found it. Now I get to own this information. You don't get to continue studying about something because it was mine, you know? And especially when these people are people in authority, like in public positions, like in Brazil, in this case would be IFAN, right? Where these people um, are self-appointed dictators of what information the public gets to hear or not, right? And who gets to study what, right? And also pretend that they're the specialists, have really no expertise in the area of archaeology. They are basically using public money to do the work they do very badly. And when there's people that actually bring in the knowledge to the public, bring in the research, they go there and defame them, right? So not only there is they misusing public money by being deficient or inefficient or purposefully destructive when it comes to sharing knowledge, but they go and persecute you for continuing doing the work that you're doing. In this case, being exposing what's hidden in the ground in the Amazon, which is directly connected to our cosmic origins, who we are, what's this whole story about human civilization and where we came from, and all the alpha and omega and in between about our existence. And it's just a direct evidence of forces that want to keep us ignorant and in the dark. And that time, unfortunately, is over for them because they're being exposed and they're shooting themselves in the foot by acting like psychopaths and you know irrational. You know, that's all. That was my rant about Ratanaba, and
I got it. I got it. And I think we can speak about it in the next episode. What do you think about it?
for sure,
For sure,
for
we can
sure,
bring to our people a good material, a good image proofs about that research, and maybe when they are ready, they can be able to understand it. What do you think about it?
yeah. I think it's important for us to generate the frequency here in the United States and in the English speaking world. And I honestly want I feel, you know, that I feel more sort of like the ownership of the current government because I did my part to elect a president that it's sort of more popular and more open to implementing social projects. You know, people like Elon Musk and Robert F. Kennedy, and a lot of people in the truth movement here that were discredited before, like Dale Bigtree, which is had a show called Nightline and was exposing all the COVID scams, and then Donald Trump now is also about investigating vaccines and all that. So I feel like if it's to be that this information goes out in the public awareness here in the United States about Ratanaba, like why can it be us and why can we talk about that and then reach out to these people, right? And do you know do what we can to approach them and be like, do you guys know about this? If you guys know about this, why are you keeping it hidden, and why can we start talking to people about these things? Which is
Yes.
disclosure. So I'm open, publicly committing to reaching out to this community of truthers here, and start to make relationships and connections, so then we can have a network of information and have a place in this community where we serve as a valid and legitimate sources of information where they can derive on and expand on, because a lot of people have a lot of information, and we can just be the anchor where they can just really get the information from, a source of intelligence, so to speak.
Got it. Got it. Bro, I just have one thing to just say uh, before we finish this second episode, and we will have a lot of more information for the next ones. And this thing is, we are bigger than that, and we have our own job to do. It's really good you are involved at this thing and at this process, but don't even think you aren't bigger than that. You are bigger than that. I am bigger than that. We can do it together. I like this kind of voice. Together. We can do it, and we
And do
will
it.
do it. I really appreciate it to be here. What? Tell me.
In behalf of United States of America and the Commander in Chief Donald Trump, I thank you for your presence, and thank you for your audience and future people that will be watching this, uh, for your attention, and we'll see you next time.
That's okay. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation. I would just advise you try this one. F Deuce is cheap and quite good. Try this one. F Deuce. And then you can do it like me. Like me. See you next time. I
See
really
you, bro.
enjoyed this reunion, but now I have another meeting and we have to rest a little bit because tomorrow we will be together again. Really thank you. Really appreciate the audience, all people who are watching and the people which will be watching someday in the future. Keep that in mind. You are the God. We are the God. We are not chips. We have to bring this power to the whole world. Uh, See you, my friend. Good night. Sorry for this, but we have to go. Tomorrow, I will be with you and we get it a little bit higher and powerful and deep and better and better and better and better. I was honored to be with you. I am thrilled, really thrilled to be searching this thing with you. And together, we are two parts of God's. Peace out. See you next time, people.